and welcome to Sacred Self-Love Lunch Break with me, Diana, your Sacred Self-Love Coach. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. Today, I want to talk about what do you do when things don't go your way. I know I've tried so many things over the years. Like, obviously, when we were kids, um, the first thing we would do when things didn't go our way is what some people like to call a tantrum. But maybe it's just freedom of expression. So we would cry. We would sometimes stamp our feet, make fists, scream, like let it all out. What do you do these days? So often we can have expectations of life. And expectations are actually good in a way because they imply that you have standards, you have an idea of what you want to experience, you have a dream for yourself. And that's great. That's all fantastic. Setting your life up the way you want it, envisioning what you want. These are amazing things. And technically, the visions that you have for your life are your expectations. So that's great. And having those standards is great. Having those ideas and those dreams, great stuff. But there's that old adage that says, if you want to make God laugh, and I know lots of people don't like the word God. So God, universe, life, laugh, have a plan, because we all know this so well. Things usually don't go exactly according to plan. Sometimes they do, and that's fun too. But imagine if everything went according to plan all the time. It might actually be a little bit dull, because whether we like to admit it or not, the challenge and the fun of things not going our way is what keeps us on our toes, what keeps us getting creative, what keeps us coming up with new ideas and raising our standards of what to expect, what we want, getting a clear idea of what we don't want. And so that's actually where the fun is. So what do you do when things don't go your way? Um, I Disappointment can be huge. Disappointment can throw you so far off your what is the word? I've just gone blank. Off your track. Can throw you so far off your track. Disappointment can be debilitating. So I, for one, know that. I know disappointment. I know how hard it can hit when you're holding on to something and you've got such a fantastic idea and you know how you want it to work out and everything's in place. It just looks like it's all going to go according to plan, and then it doesn't. Sometimes nothing happens. Sometimes the opposite happens. And the disappointment can be so deep that it really, really rocks you. I'm going to just check if anyone's here in the chat. If you are here, then do comment in the chat. I love hearing from you on these lives. So that disappointment can really, really knock you off course, off track, and leave you sort of motionless, debilitated, like not knowing what to do next. And so what I want to chat about today is getting past that feeling of disappointment and that the fact that that disappointment can leave you out of action and not knowing what to do next. And it's how to take the next steps or what to even do in the moment. And the first thing that I recommend is acknowledge it. So often we're living life at such a pace. We're going at such a fast pace that when things don't go according to plan, either you're a very robust, resilient person like I am, which then we have a tendency to just bounce to the next thing. Just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. Whatever you do, you've got to just keep going. Or you might be somebody who is slightly less resilient or more impacted, and that disappointment can pull you into kind of a darkness bordering on depression. Some people fall on depression. Um, but again, there's not always the acknowledgement of what has happened. There's not always that moment where you actually take the time and say, this is what I hoped for, and that didn't happen, and this is what really did happen, and this is how I feel. And it's kind of step one and step two, but they are intrinsically connected. They can't be separated. Very, very importantly, feel it. Allow yourself to feel the feelings that come with things not going your way, with your plan not panning out the way that you hoped it would. So allow yourself to feel that disappointment. that sadness, that anger, that frustration, all those feelings that come with things not going according to the plan or the idea or the vision or the dream that you had, allow yourself to feel it. Acknowledge that it hasn't gone your way and really feel into it. Feel those feelings. And then here comes the key one. The key, in order not to get stuck in those feelings of where disappointment and sadness and frustration can turn into self-pity and wallowing, which is not a place any of us want to live in because it really feels crap. So yes, feel it while it feels like you need to feel it. And then before you get stuck there, accept. Accept the reality of what is. So this was my idea, this was my plan, this was my vision. It didn't pan out. This is reality. Accept it. Come to a place where you can say, I accept. I wanted X, I got Y. That's very, very important. Accept the feelings as well. I wanted X, I got Y, and I feel angry, or I feel devastated. I feel heartbroken. The feelings can be anything. Accept them. Accept what's happened or what hasn't happened, and accept the feelings. And here comes the exciting part, the part that I want to talk to you about. Reframing. And I'm sure many of you will have heard of reframing. It's quite a well-used term in coaching and psychology circles, NLP, and it is a fantastic tool. So what it means is taking your idea of something and how it should have or could have or would have been had it gone according to plan, and then taking the reality and just shifting, like reframing. So you could take it as something that really broke your heart. And I've spoken of this before, looking for the ruby in the dirt or looking for the gift out of that situation. So yes, there's disappointment, there's heartbreak, there's upset, but what did I get out of it? What have I learned? How have I grown? How have I raised my standards? How have I been able to see what I don't want, what I won't tolerate in my life? How have I been able to see that maybe that vision for myself, possibly what I got, could work out better? There are so many ways to reframe, where you can look at what you gain from the situation rather than what you've lost. That's classic reframing. And what I want to talk about a little bit deeper today in the reframing space is reframing your actual expectations. So what does that mean? Because reframing the result you get, reframing the reality versus the dream or the vision, that's one thing, and that's something that we can all practice and learn, and it's very, very powerful. So, for example, I have launched various programs in over time. Like I had Love Me Beautiful body awareness program. I had Embrace Your Goddess Body. I've still got that Glow. These are all still running. But so often, and it happened more than once, where I would launch something and I think, oh yes, like the whole world is going to see this now, even though the whole world is not on my social media, and social media is my main channel for communication. But yeah, I would just be like, the world is going to receive this, and I'm so passionate about what I want to share with people, and I know that this is like life-changing stuff. And so like tomorrow, there are going to be tens of thousands of people just like queuing up to get this amazing stuff, and it's going to be beautiful, and I'm going to be impacting lives, and my vision to change the world with a message of self-love is just going to blossom and bloom overnight. Well, that didn't happen. Slowly but surely, it is happening. Okay, but initially, when I would like go to market with a new launch and I think this is it, it's going to take the world by storm, I'm going to be literally as big as Oprah by Monday. And then, of course, by Monday I wasn't. I had not impacted that many people's lives, but I had impacted 2 or 3 or 6 or 10 people's lives in a really deep and meaningful way. I had to reframe the result that I got. That's classic reframing. Look at what I've got. Not only had I impacted people's lives with this amazing work that I'm sharing, I had also impacted my own life, and they had impacted my life, and the experience had shifted my person and my growth. So I was a better, stronger, bolder, more robust and resilient version of myself, with even more to offer in my programs. So I have more to bring. So there were so many ways. I mean, I could go on about how I've reframed that experience I can go on about that for half an hour. What I want to talk about though is the next level of reframing, which is what I call reframing your expectations. So what is the next level, and how do you reframe an expectation? If an expectation is something that hasn't yet been met, it is a hope, it is a vision, it is a dream, it's an expectation, it's not yet reality. How do you reframe that before you even know if the reality is going to match it or not? Well, here's how. It's that whole thing of saying this, so this being your expectation. So here's my expectation. So let's talk about a relationship, for example. Let's say you're single and you're looking for a partner and you have an idea that you want a partner of a certain type of person. So they might be a certain gender, they might be a certain level of thinker, they might have be working in a certain industry. I would just like to say for the record that defining a person like this, I don't know if I really go with it because I'm all about soul connection, but let's just say that this is what you're doing. So you've got this whole picture of this person. And here's the key statement for reframing expectations. When you look at your expectation and your hope, the key statement is this or something better. This is what I want. This is what I dream of for myself. This is what I hope for, or something better. May whatever I receive be for my highest good. And sometimes that includes discomfort. Sometimes it includes pain, heartache, disappointment, sadness. Sometimes that is what is for our highest good. And the deepest part of ourselves, our inner self, life itself, the energy that is everything, source energy, God, whatever you want to call it, knows that. We knew that before we even came here, that in this expectation, there is a lesson, or in this expectation, there's growth. In this expectation, there's expansion for me to be a better version of myself. So that's the person that I've defined that I hope to see as my ideal partner in life one day. Or something better. And something better could include someone who's completely different from that, pushes all my buttons, pushes me to grow, pulls me out of my comfort zones, frustrates me, and yet I grow, I expand, I become more true to who I really am. Let's go back to my personal example, the example of my business and the beautiful, beautiful programs that I launch on a regular basis. And hoping to have the program taken up by so many people, and then let's say instead of 100 people, there were 10. So if my expectation is this or something better, so I have the dream, I have the vision, I have the hope, I have the expectation, and attached to that is this or something better, this or whatever is for my highest good, then when those 10 people come and not the 100, when my group ends up being a very intimate group instead of a mass group, when I deeply impact 10 people rather than 100, and when I am impacted in return, because I came in with this or something better, that level of disappointment, that drop off, is not nearly as deep. That sadness, that heartbreak, that disappointment is not nearly as intense as it would have been if I cling to the expectation in the picture, how I saw it, and that's what I want. So that's what I mean by reframing expectations. I'm not saying don't have expectations. Create your dream, create your vision for yourself. Know what you want, have your standards, yes, and attach to them and it comes back to faith, which is a word from religious circles, but it's beautiful, beautiful meaning, even if you don't necessarily like the word. It comes back to faith, it comes back to belief, it comes back to trusting life and trusting yourself. If you know yourself well enough and you're creating these beautiful expectations, visions, hopes, dreams for your life. And you say to yourself, your inner self, your higher self, this is my hope, this is my dream, or something better. Whatever is for my highest good, let that be. Then when you feel and there will be disappointment, there will be sadness, there will be heartache, it won't be as intense. It won't knock you completely off track. You will be able to get into the cycle of acknowledge what's happened, feel the feelings, accept it, and reframe much faster. So I'm going to actually grab a piece of paper and draw what I'm talking about. Because I saw this, I've just realized that I saw this with, I think it was either Master Ko or Tony Robbins that spoke about this. But in Buddhist circles, there's the story of the spiral of life. And you spiral around and you keep expanding. So your spiral is not going tightly up. It's literally getting wider and wider and wider. So often we might experience something that looks the same, feels the same, but it's the reason why it's not the same is because we're a different version of ourselves. So we might have come around to a similar experience with a similar result, but if you actually analyze it and pull it apart, because you're a different version of yourself, you're a more expanded version, so is that experience. So you might have had, let's say, a heartache in the past, and then you enter a new relationship. It seems different, it seems good, it's beautiful, and it also ends in another heartache. And you might think, why does this always happen to me? Why did it happen again? It's happened before. Why did it happen again? Well, the truth is, it's not the same because you're not the same. You might not have changed the whole picture and the full experience, but you changed. You grew from the first time, and therefore the second time was an evolved version of it, for want of a better thing. So back to that, speeding up that process of acknowledging what's happened, acknowledging the reality, feeling the feelings that go with it, accepting what has happened, and then reframing both the result and your future expectation. This is what I wanted to show you. So that cycle, could it be like this? Okay, so I've drawn a picture. So where, oh wow, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. So where that's like your bottom, your lowest of your low, and then you grow. You have an experience that throws you off course and it drops you right down to your bottom. Grow. Life is wonderful. Have an experience that throws you off, drop down to the bottom. What happens is, as you practice reframing your expectations, so you hold your beautiful dream, you create your expectations for life, you have amazing standards for yourself. Then what happens is, so here's your bottom point now, you start grow. Something knocks you, of course, drops, but you're not dropping all the way down to your base again. You're dropping, you're experiencing it, you're feeling the feelings, you're going there, you're acknowledging, you're reframing, grow. Something knocks you again. You don't even drop off as far down as you dropped the last time. And so you keep going. So you keep expanding. So you keep experiencing bigger, better. And as I said in that statement that I gave you, this or something better. So whatever dream you create for yourself, whatever vision you come up with for yourself, you always get that experience of this or something better. And I just want to say hello to Kevin, Prasad, hello Adnan. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. It's so good to see you here. And here we've got Sonia, hello, and Claire, and I can't see it. I've got my camera. That's not a great idea. To use the camera in the middle of a broadcast, or almost at the end, but yeah, I might have to hold it now. Sorry if I'm making you people feel dizzy and dry. The camera seems to have fallen off its perch. So yes, that is, I am going to have to hold it. That is basically the essence of it. So go through those steps. Life is going to give you results that don't match your expectation, your dream, your vision, exactly as you had hoped. First step, accept it. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge what has happened. State it to yourself. I was hoping for X and I got Y. Acknowledge it. Then feel those feelings. Your feelings are such a good indicator for yourself of when things are off kilter between your inner self and your outer self. So feel the feelings. see what they're all about, explore them, and before you get stuck there, accept reality, accept the situation for what it is, and then reframe. Reframe your whole experience, reframe the results you got, and reframe your expectations for the next time. I promise you it works, and it really will get you onto this journey of up and up from bottom, not necessarily hitting bottom every time. So give it a go and let me know how it goes for you. Do give me feedback. I really, really love to hear from you. And thank you for joining me today. I'll be back on Thursday. And on Thursday, we're actually going to be talking about the feelings and the gap between your inner self and your outer self, and how to use your body, your thoughts, and your feelings as the indicators that they are. So I look forward to seeing you again on Thursday for Self Love Lunch Club, live at 1 p.m. on all my social channels. And I will see you then. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember, love yourself because you're worth it. Ciao for now.